This is the Astros Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Houston Astros, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, basically the opposite of last night as the Astros fall to the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight by a final of 3-0. Their pitching not doing enough. Pittsburgh's pitching doing more than enough for them to win a baseball game tonight. And the Astros drop game 2 of this 3-game series to the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight, again by a final of 3-0, and setting up a rubber match of the 3-game set tomorrow as they will wrap up this series. Hello and welcome this evening to the Locked On Astros Postcast. I am your host, Michael Connor. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching us live or later on the YouTube page, you see it's a little bit different. My computer, right before the show, decided to took an Astros tonight, and it went ahead and crapped out. So I'm sorry if the audio is not as typically as it is. We are on a laptop in a different part of the house. So thank you for joining us here tonight. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. All right, what's the number one thing you're walking away from this one talking about?
This is what you'll be talking about.
Well, like last night where you talked about the wonderful pitching and the team doing enough offensively, tonight you are going to be talking about the fact that they did not get anything going out there. Now, I understand the world. Trust me, guys. I do understand it. The world of being a fan. I will always admit that my fandom is still hardcore there. I love the Houston Astros. I want them to win the World Series every single year. When you get to peel the onion back for years and be around it and see it on a day-to-day basis, and also be expected to go on the radio and be professional and whatnot, my level of craziness in the middle of a season is, without a doubt, different than yours. I will admit that every single time. I can't get too jacked up when things are great. I can't get too crazy when things go bad. Like, I know that you're sitting there tonight and you want to probably, and I haven't even looked at the comments section. I'm sure you guys are firing off. They're firing off like crazy. And it's not that I'm not going to look at them at some point. I will. But it's probably about the team being terrible, hitting coaches needing to lose their jobs, the same stuff that we do every time. Here's just the truth of it. When you play a 162-game season, you're going to have a lot of nights like this. Now, look, it's all the same things we've talked about for this baseball team this season. Offensively, they're not great. They're a mediocre offense. That has nothing to do. I'm telling you, I will say it till I'm as blue in the face as this blue hat. The Astros are mediocre offensively, not because of hitting coaches. They're mediocre offensively because they're a team put together that's a mediocre offensive baseball team. Now, they've gotten hot recently. They've played good baseball of late, and they're going to get hot again at some point. But we all knew it coming into the season. You know, you could have been excited about Christian Walker. I never thought he was going to come in and be the next, Jeff Bagwell at first base, like they wanted to sell you it. But I couldn't have imagined he was going to be this terrible all the time. I know that he hit a big home run last night, but overall his season has been just downright horrendous. Now, Jose Altuve is an aging player, and it's not going to be as consistent as it was in his early stages of his career. Jeremy Pena has taken a huge step forward. Isaac Paredes has exceeded the expectations that I had for him. Jake Myers in the outfield has exceeded the expectations that anybody could have had for him. Cam Smith has had some moments where he's looked pretty good out there and right, but here's the truth of what Cam Smith's done so far this season. He's not producing of late, and he's not hitting for any thump when he hits at all. And it's hard to have that expectation for a rookie. Then left field, I set out to – between left field and second base, they have a big, fat, black hole there at either spot on any given night. because they don't have an answer at those positions. And they brought up Jacob Melton now. Jacob Melton's not here on his merit. Jacob Melton's here on the need, of course, because Chas McCormick goes down, but also in part because the Astros are so right-handed. So, I mean, I think we could do like we probably do every other night. We could sit here and do all the hoops and jump through this and make conclusions here and there. The truth of it will always get back to this team offensively this season. When they stink, it's because that's more often than not what they're going to be. More often than not, they're going to be a mediocre offensive baseball team. They're going to win. We know this. If they're going to win the division this year, they're going to get back into the postseason and go deep into the postseason. It is going to be on the backs of their pitching. And there is nothing you're going to be able to do to change that outside of going out and getting 2 or 3 bats at the trade deadline and adding it to this roster, which guess what they're not going to do? That. Nor should they. It comes back to the fact that they poorly planned their lineup. And I didn't even mention, I'm forgetting too. I'm looking at the box score right here. I ran through all the guys there, expectations this season, exceeding them and whatever. Another guy that you expected to, and look, not having Yordan matters. Yordan was also bad when he played. But Yainer Diaz, he had 2 hits tonight, but his season overall as well has been, not good. We were riding that little high there for a minute. I know you were. I was too. They're not a bad baseball team. We know this. They're a winning baseball team. They're 33-28. Are they one of the best teams in the league? No. They play in the worst league of the 2 leagues to where anything is going to be able to happen in this league. It's not a good league. The American League is inferior to the National League. So, yeah, the Astros, all they got to do is get to the dance. But when they get to that dance, these problems that they have now will probably still be there. Unless there's a dramatic turn by certain characters and you get Yordan back and he's unbelievable and lengthens the lineup and makes everybody else more dangerous. Who knows? I will say this for tonight. Like I always say, if you're going to lose fast. Last night was like 222. Tonight, 216, baby. 216. We're doing the post-game show at 8 o'clock. This old man's going to be in bed by 9. Hallelujah. That's right. I'm not happy they lost. I'm just saying, if you're going to lose, do it fast. Don't make me sit here and drag it out for 3.5 hours. You get smacked around 13-4 or whatever. Lose 3-0. Is what it is. But they got to figure it out a little bit. We do know that. They just didn't have anything today. And also, I know it's not easy to do. At times, you got to acknowledge on the other side of things. Because I always think we forget that there's 2 sides of the railroad tracks here. The 2 sides of the coin, whatever. On the other side, even if that team stinks, they're still paid professionals. And I say they stink relative to what stink is for Major League Baseball players because they're all insanely talented. They're all insanely great. But there's better and then there's not as good. Tonight, Burrows, he was awesome for Pittsburgh. He gave some hits, but didn't walk anybody, struck out a bunch of guys. They're bullpen behind him. That Ashcraft character, he's got some serious stuff. 2 innings of just shut down from him. And then Bednar's, he's a former all-star closer at the end. So, again, I know that when you watch these games and you get mad in this singular moment, you just want to rage because we live in a world where it's okay to just rage all the time. One game. I don't know. I like to live in the reality of the overall situation. They're a good team right now. That's been average at best offensively this season. It was just another typical night in Houston Astros 2025 season. Simple as that. Let's talk about the importance of tomorrow's game, the series finale. We'll do that next here in the Locked On Astros Postcast. Have you ever checked your bank account and wondered where'd all your money go between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment? It's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center where you can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place so you stop just managing your money and you start building some wealth. The managing your money with your partner, better and smoother than ever. Take it from a married man right here. It is always easier when you can sit down at the table and everything is good to go. You get that with Monarch Money. Managing that money with your partner smoother than ever. You can track your shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. One more message before we get back to our Astros discussion after they lose to the Pirates tonight 3-0. Why don't you get the supplies that you need? Well, a site that's made for the skilled trades. That's Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need, delivered fast and from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers, exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM. Start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 and 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Opposite night at PNC Park tonight as the Astros drop game 2 of the 3-game series. After winning last night by a final of 3-0, they lose tonight by a final of 3-0. Thank you for joining us this evening on the Locked On Astros Postcast. I am Michael Connor. Whether you're watching live or listening later on, wherever you get your podcast, thank you for always making this show part of your day, whether it's at night, in the morning, whatever it might be. Come on back. We're live with you after every single game. We'll be live again tomorrow when the Astros and the Pirates wrap up what is an important finale of this 3-game series because it's the rubber match. There's never a rubber match that's not important, and the Astros do need to go out there and find a way to, do what they've not done in this series. Now, last night, they got clutch late. And they had enough because their pitching was fantastic. And their pitching was good tonight, too. Let's not get that twisted by any means. Their pitching gave up 3 runs. And we all know that when you give up 3 runs in a baseball game, you should more often than not win those baseball games. Tonight was not one of those nights. But this is a team that when you look at the schedule, again, we've talked a lot about the schedule. I'm just pulling it up here right now. You're kicking off this trip. Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Then you're coming back with the White Sox after this. They're in a period of time where they're playing some bad baseball teams here in the mix. Cleveland's not a bad baseball team. Then tomorrow's difficult because Keller going for Pittsburgh is really good. Fromber will go for the Astros, so you feel really good about your chances. But they need tomorrow. And it's not a day game, by the way. Usually these are day games, but that is the 5:40 first pitch again tomorrow before the weekend where they will play 6:10, 3:10, 12:40 over the weekend in Cleveland. So we'll be earlier for everything this weekend as well compared to our normal 7:10 starts when they are at home. But they need tomorrow, and that way we can get all the craziness out of you guys, It's okay to be a little crazy, but, they can get you a victory. They go a long way. I guarantee you maybe it'll hold down some of the hitting coaches. The only problem for this baseball team commentary that's out there. I don't even care anymore. Again, join us tomorrow night when the Astros do win. I'm going to say it right now, when they do win. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk again tomorrow night after Astros and Pirates on the Locked On Astros Postcast.